video again. Now, if you want to stick around, I'll answer all your questions. And there was a boatload of them, and we'll go from there. So let's do it. Let's break in. Yeah, this was a reminder to me. This is a watch along video. We did this video 2022 September. Smiley. I like that picture. Normal retail investors like me have no extra money to invest. So how is crypto going to pump this cycle unless institutions carry the bull run? I think we take a look at it. Well, first of all, you have to understand that unless America stops money printing and quantitative easing, which we are not going to do, then we've got problems if that actually happens. But they won't. They're going to keep printing money. And that's why it's important to have funds into different assets. And you should, for me, in this market, there was a good question by Meme. And Meme had a question which was, well, if we know that Bitcoin is the hardest asset, why would I ever sell it and go from there? And it's the same type of argument that you will find with Michael Saylor. For most of the, I mean, even all the Bitcoin maximalists say the same thing. They'll never sell their Bitcoin, they'll diamond hands. And for me, I can get why people would go that. I know Michael Saylor said it's an intelligence test. If you sell your Bitcoin, then essentially you're a moron. For me, I just think to myself, I'm like, if Bitcoin dominance, if Bitcoin adoption comes in and we have more than 5% of the total global population getting into it, gotcha. I see that. But for right now, as it were, you may be at an advanced stage like myself, or maybe way farther than that. But people, the majority of people, do not see Bitcoin as a hard asset. They see it as, I hate to say it, but they just see it as internet money that is essentially in a bubble and will crash. And why is that? It's because the people out there, they convey that message. You got, the Dan Peñas, the, God, what's his name? Kramer, Inverse Kramer, coming out and saying that this is just not going to be, this is just going to zero. And it just keeps happening over and over again. Until we move away from that craziness mindset into the reality, which is, Bitcoin is the hardest asset, then it will take off. For me, I just don't see it's going to happen, even though BlackRock's here, even though we have massive amount of ETF run-ups. I get that. I understand that. But people are still trading it. If it wasn't for the fact that this price has been fluctuating so greatly, it's because people are using leverage to trade. And they are getting wiped out and people will say, well, they should stop shorting. Actually, if you take a look at it, from the shorts to the longs, the shorts do better. And the reason is because they know that as great as it is, people still haven't gotten their thick heads yet. So for me, I just don't think they have it in their heads yet. And I'm going to sell a little bit and move from there. Yeah, let's see. So let me answer Smiley's question. So as far as like retail coming in, retail is not going to get here until the narrative hits. And the narrative isn't BlackRock. Because if you ask any of your normie friends who BlackRock is, they'll be like, is that a board game? They have no idea. So when people start to realize about price, it'll always come down to price. That's what got you in here. I'm going to guess most of you came in here because price went up. I'm guilty myself. So if you see Bitcoin hitting 80K, 90K, it'll start going crazy. And as soon as Bitcoin hits 100K, all of your friends, all of your family members, and all the people you probably don't even like are going to text you and ask you the question, what's up with this Bitcoin thing? That's when retail will come in, when price comes up. It's not about fundamentals. It's not about utility. It's about price goes up. Mullet says Bitcoin is down 8% from a retest of all-time high 5 days ago. Sunday's always red. While of doom and gloom. It's that, Sundays kind of suck because, of course, what's open 24/7, 365? Crypto and digital assets, right? So if you want to hedge against whatever you have going on in traditional markets, you're going to sell Bitcoin on the market that's always open. So we'll see what happens on Monday. It just concerns me a little bit about these big people selling off. Does that mean that everything's going to crash and we're not going to hit more all-time highs? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think that it's, there's a phrase, it gets worse before it gets worse. So we'll see what happens. And then I think it really comes down to Tuesday. We'll see. Yeah. This was a good one. Ryan, He says Bitcoin is down because the Iowa poll came out from Ann Seltzer and polymarket odds shifted. I watched the price in real time. And that's true. It is going on. If we take a look at polymarket, the election forecast, wasn't Donald Trump up like 64, 65%? Harris was way down. Now we're seeing a shift. But again, I have no idea, because it seems like people who want to vote for Harris or who want to vote for Trump, they won't tell you that. They're just like, yeah, I'm going to vote. And then sometimes people just tell you what you want to hear. You ever got that? Like people say, who are you voting for? Well, who are you voting for? Harris? Yeah, she seems okay. That's the conversation you're going to get. That's just pretty much how it is. But, you know, Guy over at Coin Bureau had a very wise point. And he said, look, I don't care so much about the president. I care more about the Senate, the House of Representatives, and Congress as a whole, which is the Senate and House of Representatives. And, you know, whoever takes over, if you've got, let's be honest, if you have Republicans in Senate and the House, and they have a majority, and you have Republicans in the Senate as a majority, and you have a Republican president, that's a problem, because then you get everything just kind of railroaded through and rammed through. And there is no like provisions. Of course, yes, you have to have, you know, supermajority. I understand that. But if you have, and if you take a look back and just see like how many laws were passed, some were great, some were awful. But I think if we don't have voices from all sides, everything kind of falls apart. And that's where democracy is great. If I just have it just an echo chamber, and like, we're gonna get this bill through and everybody's gonna vote for it because we have everything. I don't think it's the greatest thing. Not for America. I could be wrong. That's just how I see it. Yeah. Joker says, cycles are out the windows. Bitcoin did exactly the same as the double top back in November 2021. Alts by then had topped out this time around. Alter did. I don't know if that's for real. I know some people are still making, like, I'll be honest with you. Like, we'll probably, I mean, we're not going to make the, who said it? Somebody said, look, we're not going to make, I think it was gas fee fees, said, we're not going to come out here and make the 10,000% gains that we used to, right? Unless you're going to get a meme coins and just pick that lucky one. And you're able to not only go up and watch it go up, but actually be able to sell it because there's actually liquidity. Also be aware of that. So with this one, I still say that, and like, as we look back into the profits that I took in March, profits I took in May, and the profits I took 3 weeks ago, there's profits to be had. They're all around. You just have to pick your spots when you want to actually sell. And people will always tell you, I remember when I put that, where the heck is it? Yeah, this one. I remember when I posted this and people are like, you're an idiot. Why would you sell now? Don't you know that all the huge gains are coming? I'm like, yeah, maybe, you know. Nothing goes in a straight line, brother. And sure didn't. So like, when you start selling, okay. Here's some advice. Don't have a YouTube channel and tell people when you're selling, because everybody's going to call you a moron anyhow. So just, if you sell, keep it to yourself. Tell your spouse, hey, we made some money, and, you know, treat him or her right. That's about it. H Travels, I should sell all my alts? No. I'm just saying that's the indicators we should look for and then move from there. Patrick says, I probably don't sell any Bitcoin. If Saylor really invested 42 billion, I don't see a huge bear market. A few dips for sure. Maybe the 4-year cycle is over. I don't think it's over, but it's going to be diminished. And maybe we have another one in us. But as time goes on, you never hear about gold and their cycles, you know, because, well, first of all, gold's been around a hell of a lot longer, thousands of years. That makes a lot more sense. But I think as time goes on, we're going to see diminished returns. We can always see those on the ROI charts. But I think as it becomes more stabilized and mass adoption comes in, 4-year cycles are probably going to go away. And people are going to look back at us and like, can you believe those guys and gals were able to make so many gains on Bitcoin, which is, you know, $500,000 a piece? And I'm just saying that could be in 20 years. I don't know. But yeah, it could be. All right. What else you got for me? Let's see. Buy mullet. More talking points, please. Have a great day. Great. And Thiego's got a good point. Last time Trump was elected, the markets tanked and then ripped weeks after. Yeah, I remember watching that. I was living in Vegas at that time. This is at my brother's house, and I go, and I think it was as soon as Ohio came in, I go, well, that's it. He won. That's it. Went home, woke up the next day. That's what it was. And then next 3-4 days or so, because I was on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The next 3 days, the market just tanked like crazy. I'm like, wasn't this the guy that was supposed to, was the guru for the economy? And then, of course, and Thiago was also right. Then weeks afterwards, everything just kind of bounced back. So I don't know who's going to win, but I don't think things are going to go up like a straight line. Some people are going to be either angry or, well, it depends on who wins, right? Half the country is going to be pissed off, just how it is, no matter who wins. And then the other half will be super happy. And then 10% or 5% or whatever else it is, they're going to get scared because they're like, oh, this person's, these tariffs that they're going to implement are going to be awful, or the border crisis that she's doing is going to be awful, or whatever it is. And they're going to pull their money out, and it's just going to be a little bit of volatility for a while until everybody just settles down and goes, oh, okay. So here's the policies that this person has. Now we know what it is. Now we can go in a straight line, and there's no ambiguity. Like I said before, this is how it goes. Smiley says, I'm getting so frustrated with the crypto market. Smiley, I'll give you some advice. Just step away from the markets. If you're getting frustrated, I've been there many a time. I know I don't seem like it. I mean, these days it's not so bad. But I remember in the beginning, God, it used to make me angry. I was going to make you a recommendation. Smiley, I want you to go away. I don't want you to watch any more videos on crypto. And just don't look at your portfolio for a while. And then when you come back, you'll be like, look at that. It's up. Now, I'm not saying to go away for 10 years. I'm just saying give it a month or two. Just go away. Don't watch anything. It's really good for your mental health. That's for sure. Me too. 4 years of stress. You're going to be rewarded. I'm telling you right now. Everybody here is going to be rewarded. But that goes with anything. Pretty much everything that you've ever gotten into, you only get rewarded after time. There's a term, delayed gratification, right? If you can, it's like that study. Do you want one cookie now? Or, do you want 2 cookies in 24 hours or 12 hours? Just all you got to do is wait. I'll hit 2 cookies. Same thing. It's the same thing with getting into the S&P 500. Same thing with getting into Bitcoin. Same thing with getting into real estate. Just stick around. The big thing you have to understand is that if you own assets, things are going to go your way. If you just in heavy cash, you're going to see that start to melt away as we start to print money here. And that's it. That's everywhere in the world, Assets, I think, are where it's at. Got to go. The FBI is knocking on my door. They're coming for my ant farm. Did you see that awful story yesterday about Peanut the squirrel? And was it Larry the raccoon? Total overreach by the New York government. Somebody calls in from Texas, complains about a guy who's got a squirrel that he's had for 7 years, and it's on social media. They bust into his house, 12 armed. I don't know if they were armed or not. 12 New York State officials from whatever Wildlife Foundation. I don't know what they're from. And they searched his house. They had the guy sit outside, wife outside, and sat there for 5 hours. Took the raccoon and the squirrel, took them back to their facility and euthanized them both. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Not only is that government overreach, they shouldn't have had to do that because they said, oh, they might have rabies, so we have to euthanize them. The thing is that story would never have been heard if it wasn't for the fact that one particular squirrel was big in social media. No one would have known it. Nobody would have known it because nobody would have talked about it, especially on the lamestream media. So think about that and how the overreach of government is actually happening. Okay, I'm going to get down from my soapbox. Thank you. No pain again. Shawib, very active in the meme coins, AI stuff. Took me 10 years to learn to trade effectively. Good for you, man. I still haven't figured it out. Still just holding for a long time, selling when I need to. Yeah, clearly. That's why I was so jazzed when I saw Ron Paul interacting with Elon Musk, talking about the Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge, and he asked Ron Paul to be on that committee, and that would be something. Yeah, for what? I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I think and speaking of meme coins, not to get off the sadness of that situation, I think there was like meme coins for Larry the Raccoon and Peanut the Squirrel, and these meme coins like shot up like 9,000% in like 10 hours. Daniel says, you abandoned this 2022 theory for Ben's DCA exit, right? Now, that video I just showed you with all those indicators, once those indicators start to hit, I start selling. Oh, and I also have to tell you that once I start selling, I start doing videos on that. I'm not just here to, like I always say, like I'm going to dump on you. The day that I sell is the day that I do the video. And the day that I get out 50 to 80% is the day that I step down from this channel. And then that's it for me. And then I will only come back during the bear market, because nobody needs anybody being a cheerleader for them in the bull market. You can be blindfolded and just throw a dart at an equity, on a commodity, or at a crypto, and do a 1.5 to 100x. No one needs that. I think bear market is when people need a little bit of a pick me up, we'll say. Wallet says, would the guy keep the squirrel if it was on social media? Well, as I understand it from this guy, he found the squirrel that was abandoned. There was no mother around, just laying in the grass. And he just picked it up and had it for 7 years. So, what is your crypto forecast if Trump wins? Let's be honest. I think, well, there's two things. I think Trump is a better candidate than Kamala Harris for crypto. I mean, does anybody think that the Biden administration and Harris is going to do some great things? I know that nobody's happy with Gary Gensler, and he's going to get out if he steps down. He can't get fired from the president. That's not how it works. So with this, I think Trump's probably the best one. RFK was by far the better of all three. But, we'll see how it goes. Again, like I said before, I know some people say, well, Trump's just a liar and da-da-da. I'm like, do you think Harris is 100% truthful? She is a politician, and all politicians are liars. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Campaign promises are just that. Miss you. Yeah, it'd be good. Hello from Romania. I tip my hat to you, sir. You've been a guy. Yeah, those two guys are good. They're great. Soul prediction, 50 cents to $5,000. I can see that. Somewhere between 50 cents and 5,000 for sure. It's a good question. So do you think BlackRock and other institutions are manipulating the market to kill alts? Bitcoin next if successful? No, I think that traders and people on leverage are doing a bang-up job just doing that. I can't fault them. That's just what they do. For me, I'm actually quite happy that if you are manipulating or not manipulating, or if we are screwing around with leverage, that's fine for me, because I just dollar cost average. And, some days it's good, but the majority of the days, it's been kind of down. So kind of happy that these guys are manipulating it downwards, because at some point it's inevitable. Are they all inevitable? No. Very few are going to make it. Ooh, Bitcoin 68,000, 355 pumping. Very nice. Well, I'm just going to leave it at that. We did it, everybody. And this video has been an hour plus, 1 hour plus. That's it for today. So again, if you're looking for those indicators, I linked them in the description. You can check those out. And I want you to, I would stress that I want everybody to take a look at those indicators and go through them and see what their levels were in 2013, which was one of the all-time highs during the 4-year cycles, 2017 and 2021, and how that compares to right now and what you should be looking for, and start to formulate your own idea. Like, okay, am I going to wait for this specific point, or am I going to start to, dollar cost average out, or take 10% or 20%, or just do 50 and 50 or whatever you want to do. I need you guys to do that now, because I'm telling you, when everything comes, and it's going to come fast and it comes hard, when we start to really blow up and have a blow off top for the bull market, you will not want to sell. You will say, this is going to go up forever. I heard it from XYZ influencer, or I saw this that on now all of a sudden Squawk Box or CNN is talking about how great Bitcoin is, so it'll never go down. It will go down. That's how it always does. That's it. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Get outside, touch grass, all that good stuff. See you on the next one. Adios.